Guten Erev Shabbos. I hope you're having a great day. There's a very famous story about a disciple of the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, and his name is Rabbi Kasia Lepler. And one time, the Rebbe wanted to bless him that he should be wealthy. And he said, I don't want to be wealthy. If I'll be wealthy, it'll take me away from my study, from my service of God. I'll be too busy with other things. I don't want to have wealth. So the Alter Rebbe said, I want to bless you with long life. And Rabbi Kasia Lepler looked at the Rebbe and he said, on one condition. On condition that my life will be purposeful and meaningful. That it'll be a life worth living. This week is a very special Shabbos. I know I say that always. In fact, when Gurney always tells me when she grew up, every Friday night her father would come to the Shabbos table and he would say, tell me 3 things that are special about the Shabbos. And whatever 3 things they said, he found something else. And every Shabbos is special, but this week is very special. Firstly, we finished the portion of Vayakhel and Pekudei, which is the last 2 portions of the book of Exodus. So we read a double portion. We finish Exodus and we get up and show and we say Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. We also read a second Torah where we read the portion of HaChodesh, which is where God commands the Jewish people about the new month, the first month of all the year, which is Nisan. And then we also bless the new month of Nisan. Now it's interesting because I think Judaism is the only religion that has this, that we don't have one new year, we have 2 new years. We have Rosh Hashanah that everyone knows, which is the beginning of the year for the years. And then we have Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which will be this coming week, where we begin the first month of the year preparing for Passover and for the Exodus. And the question is, why do we need 2 New Years? Is one not enough? And the answer the rabbis give is that there's 2 New Years for a reason. The first New Year is the New Year for existence. You were created, God created you. The second New Year is the New Year of purpose. It's not just about existence, but about living a life of purpose. You know, they say a person is born twice. Once when he's born, and the second time when he realizes why he was born. Or they always say the story, get a life. What does it mean, get a life? You're living. What does it mean, get a life? Have purpose, have meaning. You see, because there's 2 types of living. The one is existence. Like animals we can be. Biologically, we need food. We need sleep. We live. But do we really have purpose and meaning in what we're doing? Why are we living? And then there's when you live with a purpose. It's not just about what you need. I need to eat. I need to drink. I need to sleep. I need to go on vacation. But it's what you're needed for. What's your purpose in the world? Why are you here? And that's why we have 2 Rosh Hashanahs. The first one, Rosh Hashanah of the years, which happens in the beginning of the year, is about existing. God created you. But Nisan, now when we celebrate the beginning of the months, when God commands the Jewish people, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, which we'll read in the shul, that's the Rosh Hashanah of purpose, of living a life that's about what I'm needed for, what I'm giving. And that's why it's chosen specifically for Nisan. Because Nisan is the time when we became free. When we sit around the Seder table with our families and we have discussions and we talk about what are we here in the world? Why are we here? That's the second Rosh Hashanah we get. That's the Rosh Hashanah for Nisan. There's a remarkable story about the famous musician and composer Arturo Toscanini, who lived in the beginning of the 20th century. And he was the most famous musician. And one time a reporter came and said, I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. And he said, I can't. I'm listening to a concert on the radio. I'm not going to have time tomorrow. But he said, I want to come. He says, I'll come anyways. I'll be quiet. I won't say a word. So he says, fine. The reporter comes. He sits on the side and he watches as for 2 hours, Arturo Toscanini listens on the radio to this symphony, to this choir, to this concert. Afterwards, when it's finished, the reporter turns to Toscanini and says, tell me, what did you think about it? He said, I'll tell you the truth. He says, this note and this that they were singing really needed 14 violinists, but they only had 13. Now, the reporter didn't know. He didn't want to embarrass him, so he didn't want to say anything. He said, that's ridiculous. He's listening on the radio. What does he know if there's 13 or 14? But he didn't want to say anything. You're not going to embarrass Toscanini, but he writes them down and makes a mental note. And the next day he does some research and he comes to the band, to the people that play. And he says, tell me, how many people were you in your symphony yesterday? He says, really what we sang, it needs to have 14. But one guy called in sick and he couldn't come and we only had 13. Sometimes we think about our lives and we say, does it really make a difference if I'm playing my part or not? There's so many violins. There's so many people. There's millions and billions of people in the world. Does it really make a difference if I play my violin? And the answer is yes. And definitely to the conductor. Because the conductor of the whole world, God, knows your purpose in life and knows your tune and note and what you add. Because as the Rebbe always told us, and I told you this before, the day you were born is the day that God created the world. God decided the world can't exist without you. So yes, that's the message of HaChodesh. When we take out the second Torah today, when we begin to read about the new month which is coming, Rosh Hashanah happened. We were born. But we need to be born in a sense where we have purpose in our life. We need to know why we were born. What did God want from us? To change the world, to make it a better place. May you have a good Shabbos and enjoy and celebrate with love and joy and light. Shabbat Shalom.